Hey everybody, welcome back to Furs and Fins Outdoors. I know it's been a while since we put out any videos. Me and Gatlin's been pretty busy keeping everything fed and out of the mud and out of the snow. So thought we'd get in the garage here. It's a pretty rainy day and go over some stuff. We're thinking about starting this thing called Garage Talk. Maybe put one out once a month, see how they do, but just go over something that we've done recently, or a product, or a technique, something that we've done and used, and try to go over it just to help y'all out. It may be hunting, it may be fishing, I mean, just never know, but we've got to do a little bit of hunting. Not a lot, not as much as we'd like to. We've got some footage. We're trying to get a video together on that, but thought I'd sit here in the garage. I'm in the boat. Got the heater on, so thought we'd sit here and do a little fishing tip. Gonna go over not quite spring cranking, but wintertime cranking, and it's one of my favorite things to do, honestly, is throw a crankbait. So we're going to go over it a little bit and try to help y'all out and see what we can come up with. Alright, it's mid-February, and that means things are starting to uptick towards spring. We've had a ton of rain, dirty water. I mean, we're actually flooding right now, so things are changing drastically, because we went from a deep freeze, the lakes were frozen, I mean, barely could get in anywhere, to now they're coming up fast, muddy, and warming up. Found some 53 degree, 54 degree water last weekend, so we had a little warming spell. It's cooled back off now. We'll just kind of go from colder to warmer progression right now, and just go over a few things, what I like to do, how I like to throw them. First off, when we start December, January, and that water gets down in the low 40s, most people think you can't really do anything moving, but I really like to throw a shad trap. I think that's a number 6. It's number 6 shad trap. Put that on a spinning rod. I don't have one of them out right now, but I throw it on like a 7, I think it's a 7.3 medium light spinning rod. Got 10-pound test braid to a 10-pound leader, and you just throw it down the bank and just count rocks with it. Try to get it down there and touching the rocks, and just go as slow as you possibly can to keep that bait moving, because the fish then they're active, but they're pretty slow. It'll get you some bites. You're not going to just kill them on them, but it will get bit. And that's when that temperature is low 40s, mid 40s, low 40s, is when that really excels. Once it gets above that, we're going to step up in bait size and baits. But cold water, real cold water, I like to throw a shad trap. As the water warms up, starts creeping up towards 50 degrees, things start really changing. Fish start getting a little more active, thinking, hey, spring's coming. Let's start doing something. So when it's up mid 40s to 50, I really like this tiny. This is a tiny 7. They make just a regular tiny. This is OG Ott's Garage tiny. This will run 5, 6, 7 foot deep. Pretty much you do the same thing as you do with that shad trap. A lot of people that's not real good with a bait caster probably ought to throw this bait with a spinning rod. Just my opinion. I throw it on a bait caster, but it's a super light setup. Actually, it's set up, throw jerkbait on or stuff. So you get it down there, count rocks with it. Just work it, pretty much work it as slow as you can and still keep contact with the bottom. Color wise, it just goes on watercolor. I mean, you can do it in clear water, you can do it in muddy water. It's just, you just gotta go with the bait. Go with the color of the bait. I mean, that's all there is to that. When that water temperature starts creeping up, getting up 50, mid 50s, that's, in my opinion, when things get right. You know, you've got warm weather. If it's that warm, you've got warm days. Sometimes you have warm nights. But it's time to really step up and throw your normal good crankbait stuff. I'm a Rapala man. I do throw a few different little things, but I'm mainly a Rapala. My favorite's a DT. Actually, my favorite is a DT8. I throw a DT6 a lot, but I like the DT8 because it's easier. It's the same body size as a DT6, but has that bigger lip, which dives deeper, and it makes it easier for me to keep contact with the bottom. Like if I'm wanting to fish that 5, 6, 7 foot range, I can do it a lot easier with the DT8 than really making a super long cast with a DT6 and hoping I get down there. I can bust this DT8 down through there. For me, I have more success doing that. Really, I mean, you're going to catch just the same as DT6 as DT8 if you can get it to that right depth level. I mean, they're going to work the same. It's just the fact of how you want to keep it on that bottom, bouncing off them rocks. I mean, this one right here is the bill. I don't know if you can see it, but I mean, it's just been, it constantly bounces off rocks. So if you're throwing a crankbait and you're not touching something on the bottom, you're wasting your time. That's all there is to it. And the other is the Odds Garage Slim. This is the first one he come out with. This is a 5 to 6 foot running bait. It has a totally different wobble than like a DT does. And it just flat out gets bit. There's no way around it that it just gets bit. That early spring cranking, I mean, it is just so hard to beat. There's a bunch of different colors in it. Sometimes you got to change around and find the right color. It can be different every time you go, but I really like the OG Slim. Now, I got a couple rods out here to show what I throw a couple of these baits on. And this is going to be for your OG Slim. You can throw the tiny on it. DT6, DT4, you know, this is a super light setup. This, and by the way, there's no other rod than a Dixie custom rod. Dwayne, lights out on anything he makes. Pretty much all I throw is Dixie custom rods, no matter what. I've got a whole boatload of them. But this is the 7 foot deep flex cranking special. And I caught a right at 5 pounder with it the other day, and it just bowed completely up. I did not have to worry about that fish pulling the hooks out. I mean, I like a real limber rod when I'm cranking because I have a tendency to horse fish in, you know, really want to just pull and tug, and a good limber rod, good soft rod, it really takes a lot of that away and keeps that fish hooked up. A lot of times I have to tell myself, just take my time and, you know, let it in. But I throw pretty much religiously 12-pound test fluoro. for all my cranking stuff. A lot of people throw 10-pound. I've come to throw 12. I feel like it's a little less abrasive. I don't have to retie near as much because I'm through the rocks and getting hung on rocks and stuff. It seemed like when I was throwing 10-pound, I would break off a lot more. Especially if you get to catching fish, you're not paying attention to your line. You know, I just feel like this 12-pound can take a lot more abuse, and it really doesn't change, in my opinion, the bait. You know, I throw this on my deep crankings, my 20-foot plus crankbaits, everything, and it just really seems like it's the best for me. I throw Sunline FC cranking line. I just had good luck out of it. I don't know if there's any difference in it and just normal fluorocarbon, but it says cranking, so I tried it and I like it. So I've always throw all these smaller crankbaits, anything DT8 and under, you know. I like to throw it on a medium type reel, like a 6.6. This is actually 7.3. It's really preference, just whatever you want to throw it with, but a lot of times you get that crankbait down there, and if you get to reeling too hard with a higher speed reel, if you're a person that likes to burn it, just keep burning it, you really need a slower reel to make sure that bait does what it needs to do. That's a 7.3 on that short one. This is a 6.6 to 1. I really like it. A medium retrieve keeps it down there good. It don't wear you out. And you do this all day, you get wore out fast. So the right setup makes a world of difference if you're doing this for a long period of time. It truly does. When I step up to a DT8, I just got this rod at the East Tennessee Fishing Show. He just come out with it. But when I step up to a DT8 or DT10, I don't throw a 10 much. I've got a couple deep crankbaits that I might throw with this summer. But this is a 7.7 Deep Flex cranking special. And I'm telling you, you can sling it an absolute mile. You can feel everything that it touches. And I love the way it controls those little deeper crankbaits. Most people throw a 7-foot when they're cranking, but I like a longer rod on like a DT8 because I like making. A lot of times, if we're fishing with a buddy, somebody's on the inside throwing a little shallower crankbait, and I like standing on the outside throwing a deeper crankbait. You know, just kind of until we get it keyed in, just trying to figure out where our depths are at. But I really like this 7.7. Excuse me. But I'm telling you, if y'all need any rods, any type of rod, he just come out with a 7.1 sonar stick that's lights out. These rods are light as a feather. They do not wear you out. You can throw anything on them. He's got a rod out there for practically any technique that you want to do. And they're good price, excellent service. I can call him anytime I need to and get something fixed, get something made. You know, he'll ship them just like that, or you can go get them. I mean, he's legit, dude. I know a lot of people in my area, East Tennessee, they use his rods all the time, and once you use one, you'll understand why. But I'd really like to see him get out there on a big national stage. They're really good rods. I throw the Carbon Elite series all the time. That's the lighter ones. They sure are nice. But that's just a little something I thought I'd get in here and try, see how y'all like it. If you would like to hear more on different techniques and stuff, just post it there in the comments and let us know. Get Gatlin up here one night. We'll go over something we've done hunting here lately, and I know he's working on a few videos, some trapping videos and some stuff like that. And we've got some coyote kills on film, but hopefully we got some big things coming if we can ever get settled in and get time to do it. If you like to see anything, just comment below. I pretty much do any technique fishing wise there is. We try to go over it the best I know. Like, I'm no pro at any of them by far, but we can go over the basics, that's for sure. But if you like this, make sure you like the video, subscribe, comment, let us know, and we sure appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one.